The 7th Academy Awards was held in February 1935 and honored movies released in 1934. As soon as the nominees were announced, the Academy was bombarded with protests. It was the first time there had been such a negative reaction to the selections. The Best Picture nominations for that year went to all of Cleopatra. This was the most popular movie at the US box office for 1934. Flirtation Walk. Here Comes the Navy. Imitation of Life. It Happened One Night. Premiere voted this movie as one of the 50 greatest comedies of all time. One Night of Love. The Barretts of Wimpole Street. This film depicts the real-life romance between poets Elizabeth Barrett and Robert Browning. The Gay Divorcee. The House of Rothschild. The Thin Man. The White Parade. Viva Villa. This film is a fictionalized biography of Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa. And the Oscar went to It Happened One Night. This romantic comedy became the first film to perform a clean sweep of the top 5 Academy Award categories, known as the Oscar Grand Slam.
You mind if I try?
You? Don't make me laugh.
Oh, you're such a smart Alex. Nobody knows anything but you. I'll stop a car and I won't use my thumb.
What are you going to do?
The system on my own.
The 8th Academy Awards, 1936. This was the first year in which the gold statuettes were called Oscars. And the nominees for Best Picture for that year were A Midsummer Night's Dream, the first fantasy film and Shakespeare adaptation to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. Alice Adams. Broadway Melody of 1936. Captain Blood. David Copperfield. Les Miserables. Mutiny on the Bounty, based on the 1932 Charles Nordhoff and James Norman Hall novel Mutiny on the Bounty, which was, in turn, based on the 1789 real mutiny on the Royal Navy vessel HMS Bounty. Naughty Marietta. Ruggles of Red Gap, based on the best-selling 1950 novel by Harry Leon Wilson. The Informer. Upon its release, a record 129 cuts were made by the British censors. The Lives of a Bengal Lancer. Top Hat. This movie earned $3 million at the box office, a huge amount at the time. The only other film in 1935 to outgross it was Mutiny on the Bounty. And the Oscar went to Mutiny on the Bounty. The first film based on historical events to win the Oscar for Best Picture. Despite historical inaccuracies, the film was a huge box office success, earning $4.46 million and becoming the highest-grossing film of 1935.
I'll live to see you, all of you, hanging from the highest yard arm in the British fleet.
The 9th Academy Awards, 1937. The Best Picture nominations for that year went to all of A Tale of Two Cities, based of course on Charles Dickens' best-selling historical novel. Anthony Adverse. At that time, this was the most expensive film Warner Brothers had ever made. Dodsworth. Libeled Lady. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Romeo and Juliet. San Francisco. The Great Ziegfeld, a cinematic adaptation of Broadway's Ziegfeld Follies. The Story of Louis Pasteur. Three Smart Girls. It was Universal's big Christmas hit release for 1936. And the Oscar went to The Great Ziegfeld.
Mr. Mayor, so I present you with this award for the finest motion picture of the year, The Great Ziegfeld.
Thank you, Mr. Jessel. On behalf of my organization, proud to be the head of a studio that has 5 pictures this year competing for honors.
This epic musical cost MGM a total of $2 million, a massive amount of the time. It did, however, go on to gross over a whopping $40 million.
Do you know Ziegfeld?
No. Oh, I don't want to. I understand he's a horrible person.
Horrible?
Yes, they say he's a terrible ladies' man.
The 10th Academy Awards, 1938. The Best Picture nominations for that year went to all of A Star is Born, the first all-color film nominated for a Best Picture Academy Award. Captains Courageous. Dead End. This film was banned by the Memphis Board of Censors in 1945. Yep, that's 8 years after its release, on the grounds that it was, quote, not a proper picture to show before the youth of today, unquote. In Old Chicago. Lost Horizon. This film exceeded its original budget by more than $776,000 and took 5 whole years to earn back its cost. 100 Men and a Girl. Stage Door. The Awful Truth. In 2006, this movie was voted by Premiere Magazine to be on the list of the 50 greatest comedies of all time. The Good Earth. It took 3 whole years for this film to be completed, at a staggering cost of $2.8 million. The Life of Émile Zola. Contemporary reviews ranked this movie as the best biographical film made up to that time. And the Oscar went to The Life of Émile Zola. This was the first film to break double digits in Academy Award nominations, receiving an astonishing 10 nods.
What is your name?
Satin, this district. Montparnasse, Georgette.
The 11th Academy Awards, 1939. This was the first Academy Awards ceremony without any official host.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bergen. You too, Charlie.
And that year's nominees for Best Picture were Alexander's Ragtime Band, the top-grossing U.S. film of 1938, Boys Town, 4 Daughters, Jezebel, La Grande Illusion, or The Grand Illusion. This French war masterpiece is the first foreign language film to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. Pygmalion. Based on the 1913 George Bernard Shaw play, Pygmalion was adapted by Shaw himself for the screen. Test Pilot. The Adventures of Robin Hood. At the time of its release, this was the studio's most expensive film, costing over $2 million. However, it turned out to be their biggest moneymaker hit of the year. The Citadel. You Can't Take It With You. While a typical 1938 feature film usually ran to 8,000 feet of film, Frank Capra shot this one on 329,000 feet. And the winner was You Can't Take It With You. This romantic comedy was adapted from the 1936 Pulitzer Prize-winning play by George Simon Kaufman and Moss Hart. Needless to say, it was a huge critical and commercial success.
What happened? What happened? What happened? Well, a mouse went right past there. A mouse in this place? A mouse. What do you mean, a mouse? There was a rat that long with hair on it. A rat with hair on it? Yeah, about 6 of them. Weren't there 6 or 7 of them? Where? 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 Right under that table.
The 12th Academy Awards, 1940. Bob Hope was the master of ceremonies for the first time.
Thank you, President. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here tonight. Anyway.
This also was the last year that the names of the winners were given to the press in advance of the awards presentation. The Best Picture nominations for that year went to all of Dark Victory, Gone with the Wind, an epic historical romance film adapted from the 1936 novel by Margaret Mitchell, Goodbye, Mr. Chips, Love Affair, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. This political comedy drama film was controversial when it was first released, but successful at the box office. Ninochka depicts 3 Soviet agents on a fishy mission in Paris and was banned in the Soviet Union and its satellite states. Of Mice and Men. Stagecoach. This film grossed nearly $1 million by the end of 1939, earning the largest profits of any Walter Wanger film production to that date. The Wizard of Oz. Wuthering Heights. Nominated for 8 Oscar awards, this film is amongst the American Film Institute's 1998 list of the top 100 greatest American movies. And the Oscar easily went to Gone with the Wind. The first color film to win the prestigious award. If box office receipts were adjusted for inflation, it would be the top grossing film of all time.
You've lived in dirt so long you can't understand anything else. And you're jealous of something you can't understand.
It's not that easy, Scarlett.
That's it for the first decade. If you enjoyed this, subscribe and activate the notification bell for more. And click on the playlist on screen to check out more episodes.